Hey guys, welcome to another East Coast Rams podcast. I'm your host, Ashton, here with my awesome co-host, Zach. Sorry, you're on the other side. It switches us guys every so often, so, side switch. How are you doing, man? We're a week before the draft, I think 6 days before draft. A lot of Rams picks and potentially could be trades in the draft. I know we made a huge blockbuster trade, Zach. Just hold your breath. Allen Robinson is gone for a first or no, 1-7. 1-7. We moved up 17 spots. So I mean, it's not the 17th pick in the draft, Zach, but it's something. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. We're in April, so it's a little bit of rainy, but it's also very nice weather. We're finally getting out of the winter months. So yeah, it's been great and looking forward to the draft. It's going to be very interesting to see how the Rams uh, retool or reorganize their team, especially since they are their roster is very, very thin at this moment. They only have half of what they will need going into this OTAs and off season.
Mhm. Yeah, they're definitely going to have a lot of new faces this coming season, and that is exciting and scary all the same. So, guys, let's start with the big news. I kind of preluded to. Allen Robinson is gone. We traded him to the Steelers for a seventh round pick. Him along with the seventh round pick. So we practically just moved up in the seventh. Trading Allen Robinson away, we ended up covering $5 million of the $10 million left this upcoming year, and so in total, we will be paying Allen Robinson $10 million to not be on the team. Uh, Zach, how exactly? It also frees up some cap next year, but that wasn't guaranteed anyways. Uh, it, what was your first reaction when you saw this news? I know the fan base, our commenters, our listeners, I know a good majority of them were somewhat angry. I was a little bit surprised by that reaction because I didn't think he had much value going into this trade market. And I thought we were only going to get a sixth or a seventh for him. And we got around what I expected for a guy who hasn't produced in 2 years.
Yeah, I think most fans were just expecting a little bit more out of the trade. They thought that they were going to get at least, maybe a third, a fourth, something like that. Swapping sevenths is really nothing when it comes to this trade. But as far as the initial reaction, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, obviously, we knew for a couple months now that Allen Robinson and his team were asked the Rams to seek a trade with another partner, and the Rams granted that. So we always knew that they were going to find the partner. The question is, was someone actually going to be willing to pick up Allen Robinson? I mean, yes, it wasn't just the cap because I mean, obviously the Rams, the teams knew that the Rams were going to pay part of his cap hit for this season, pay part of his salary. But I mean, was a team going to take a risk? I mean, because I mean, realistically, you look at him now; he's already wide receiver 2, maybe even our wide receiver 3 going into the Steelers, and going on to most teams. And so, how is Allen Robinson, who has the last 2 seasons really hasn't produced what he should, mostly because of injury? But we know that when Allen Robinson is best, even with a bad quarterback, he's able to excel. Monday, we had Matthew Stafford came in and had a press conference with our media veil, whatever you want to call it. And just listening to that, this was the day before the news broke, listening to that and how they were asking questions about how are you going to get Allen Robinson, up to speed. His his reactions, like he was just like, oh yeah, we're going to work on it. We're going to throw more. We're going to, toss the ball to each other a little bit more. But like, when you listen to him talk to Cooper Kupp or about other wide receivers on the team, he was like, we're going to go to breakfast. We're going to watch film. We're going to do this, that, and the other. Like he was getting really detailed into his responses. And so, that was the first sign. And I even put it on Twitter. I was like, this is the first sign that Allen Robinson's out the door. People were like, yeah, he's out. They're going to cut him. I never thought that they were going to cut him. I think
No,
that was a waste of money, complete
no.
waste to just cut him. You save nothing. I mean, even with the Leonard Floyd, you save a
You
little
lose
bit
money.
of money. Yeah, you lose money. You don't even save anything. So this was probably the best move for all parties, for the Rams to move them off the books for 2024. They, yes, you said it wasn't guaranteed, but they do save in 2024 $18 million. That was kind of what the projection of the hit that they would have taken if they would have kept his contract through the 2024 season. But they only saved $5 million because they paid $10 million of his contract for the 2023 season. So it is not nothing, but it is very little to probably what most Rams fans thought that we should have got out of it.
Yeah, I agree with you on all your points, Zach. I think it is something where clearly he was supposed to provide a different element to this offense, and almost nothing on this offense worked last year, including that diversification element, having a big body, tall wide receiver, which historically Stafford has really liked, right? Stafford has liked to go after these guys like Kenny Golladay, like high pointing the ball, able to kind of moss other DBs. But that didn't really ever happen. I felt like he was never integrated with the team fully, if that makes sense. It just, every time he was running out there, I felt like he was either running routes that he normally wouldn't run, or Stafford just wasn't looking his way when he was wide open.
I
And
mean,
it
and
was
a lot of
just
that comes to the
frustrating.
chemistry. I mean, it comes to the chemistry.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, I mean, he didn't get to play with Matthew Stafford in the OTAs or during training camp and stuff like that because Matthew Stafford was dealing with his elbow injury. So they never had the chemistry to start off with. And this move was I didn't like it from the jump because I didn't really think Allen Robinson was all of that. Obviously, when we always try to want him to be more than he is, but he just hasn't really produced in the meaningful way. And I just thought it was a money grab, or it was just a grab out of the air. They lost Von Miller. They weren't going to get OBJ back. There weren't really any other big wide receivers out on the market. I mean, Devontae Adams was already in Las Vegas. Tyreek Hill went down to Miami. So they really didn't have much to do, and they needed to get somebody in there to help fill that void of losing Robert Woods and losing OBJ. And they had some extra money around, so they toss it to Robinson without, I don't really thinking about what that meant bringing Robinson onto the team and what skill set he was going to bring to help elevate that offense.
Yeah, when he was coming in, we fully thought he was going to be, instead of replacing Robert Woods in the exact same role, that he was going to take a different role, that they were going to change the offense a little bit. But it felt like they tried to insert him as Robert Woods when he's not Robert Woods. He did good blocking, but short routes isn't his thing. He's more of the long fades, the corner routes, the post routes. Like, he was never the type of guy that do quick slants or just try to get open with the yak or jet sweeps. I just felt like they did these things that they expected him to work in where Robert Woods did, and it didn't. So, yeah, guys,
No, and the only last thing is, I think you mentioned this. I mean, it's just it's not all his fault. I mean, the offense just was atrocious, mostly because of the fact that their offensive line just couldn't protect Stafford. They couldn't give him the time to throw the ball. And when you don't have time, you panic throw, or you throw to the only person that you really have a connection with. And in that instance, it was Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. And getting hurt didn't help either. So
no.
Yeah, guys. Interesting stuff. We're gonna do some draft stuff now after kind of breaking down that news, Zach. So the Rams have 11 picks now, or still, after the Robinson trade. We have our second rounder, 36, 2/3 at 69 and 77, 69 being the pick where we got Cooper Kupp. We have three fifth rounders, 167, 171, 177, and then three six rounders, which is 182, 189, 191, and two seventh rounders, 222, 223 and 234. Zach, in general, I know you made a video for Downtown Rams talking about the need for edge. Can you kind of break down why you think that should be the direction the Rams go in round 2? And in general, do you expect a lot of trades this draft, or do you think they're going to sit still?
Number one, I think the Rams always make trades. They always try to get more out of what they can in the draft. I mean, yes, everyone says, F them picks, but in reality, the Rams like the picks. They just like the later round picks. So they're fine trading back to get a couple extra picks if that's what it takes. But as far as the edge and why I thought that the edge was probably at the time, remember, this was before the Allen Robinson trade. So we could talk about that too. But the edge, I think, is probably the most valuable position outside of the quarterback. The edge piece does so much for the defense. Yes, we have Aaron Donald, which is, you can't change that once. But for all defenses, really having someone who can put pressure on the edge, whether it's one edge or two edges or what, you really have that versatility to stop the pass, stop the run, force the run to go in the middle to choke it out. You can get to the quarterback faster. It helps alleviate if you have that good pass rush. It's able to alleviate your defensive backs and your safeties and your cornerbacks. It allows you just to allows your defense just to kind of flow a little bit. If you don't have edge pieces, which we saw this past year without having Von Miller and just having Leonard Floyd on one side, it really took a toll when you can't actually get to the quarterback to pressure him. If he has all day to throw the ball, you're just wearing out your defense, whether it's your front, your defensive line, or it's in your back and your secondary. You're just putting so much pressure. And so I really think, that the edge piece, whether he's a true edge, whether it becomes he just becomes the end to the defensive line. It's just such a versatile role that I think could really benefit the defense and really the whole team as a whole. So that's just, that's where my thought is why I think the edge is probably the most important piece that the Rams could do in this draft.
I 100% agree. I think defense really needs to be addressed, especially in the early rounds. I think edge and cornerback are extremely deep in this draft. Extremely. The only other position being equally as deep is probably tight end on the offensive side. So I really hope going into this draft they address that. Now, being deep typically means you can wait. So that might be a reason they don't take an edge in the second round. In general, Zach, who has kind of caught your eyes? I know there's some fan favorites out there that is there. If Les Snead doesn't pick, I think the fan base will riot. Kind of worse than Creed Humphrey, because I know everyone wanted him picked. But who's out there that has kind of caught your eye at edge?
Yeah, so I think at the edge position, you're when I did that video, is a slightly different. But if you look right now, I think the fan favorite is probably Will McDonald the fifth, or Felix Andukai Azuma. I think those two are probably the fan favorites of the edge piece, who's going to be around at that 36 spot. You kind of look at these two, and they like these tall, long-armed edges, similar to how Leonard Floyd is built, and really Will McDonald kind of fills that position. He's 6'4" with with almost 35-inch wingspan. Now, when you kind of look like when you look at Felix, he's slightly smaller. He's 6'3" with a 33.5-inch arm length, but he's still very athletic. So, I think either one of those positions really, either one of those players would really be a good fit in this, pick 36 role.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely think Les Snead is going to try to squeeze 4 picks in the top 100. Now, where exactly is probably going to depend on who's available at each pick, right? Like if someone who's on top of their draft board falls to them, I definitely expect them to take them with 36. I would hope so. But I think we're more likely to trade back in those later picks. And guys, we'll do a mock draft here in a few minutes and kind of have a little bit of fun with that. But I really did love the film I saw from Will McDonald. I think FAU, which is what a lot of fans are dubbing Felix as, I feel like FAU is more later, second round. So I would say if Will McDonald is gone and you definitely want a second round edge, I would expect him to trade back to get him later and try to get maybe a third, second and a third for our early second. Maybe you could get 2 seconds depending on the team, how desperate they are. But yeah, I would wait to get FAU. I know some people won't like to hear that, but I feel like he's a little bit weaker on his run defense. But Will McDonald, if he's there, I have no gripes with us taking him at 36. I'll be very happy there. And
Now
Nolan
let's.
Smith,
Oh
but
yeah, obviously Nolan Smith.
yeah, he's
I
not
decided
going to be
not to
there.
mention him, even though because he won't be there. Now
Now, if he
now
slides,
yeah.
we could trade up. That is a possibility. I think the Rams have good possibility of trading up into the first round. Not super high. Probably 5 spots is the highest they'll go. I think they would give up extra third, that a Ramsey third, to get someone like Nolan Smith if he were to drop.
I don't disagree. Now let's talk about what the Rams probably will do at 36, because again, this is Sean McVay. This is Sean McVay, and in every pick that he's had, the first pick that he always does is some sort of offensive weapon or offensive player. I mean, that's just how him and Les Snead work right now. So let's talk about it. Allen Robinson, he's out the door. That means we're left with Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell, Ben Skoranek, Lance McCutcheon. What are your thoughts? Do you think that the Rams are going to, just go back with what they've always done, and they're just going to go with a weapon for Matthew Stafford in this offense?
Well, they've been looking at a lot of late round wide receivers, especially to kind of help fill in on special teams. Now, I will acknowledge Jordan Rodriguez has done a lot of great reporting on this, that the Rams have said that they are no more drafting people just to be special teamers. They've done that the last 2 or 3 years, and we've had the bottom three special teams part one of the worst in the league for last 2 years. So they're not doing that anymore. I think they legitimately was looking to fill wide receiver late in draft in case Allen Robinson didn't get traded. I really thought he was gone. That's why I ended up making my own video why I think the Rams could take a wide receiver in the second round. So yeah, I think they're gonna draft at least 2 wide receivers, possibly 3, depending on like how much faith the front office has on different players. And it also depends who falls, right? I think the number one wide receiver on the board, guy I would love to have. He's fallen a good amount already. He was projected earlier this year in the top 5, probably around 6, 7, or 8, and now he's at 17. So, like I said in that video, at any time, guys, players can just randomly fall. and teams can have runs on other positions. And guys who before the draft no one expected to be there in the second, third round is there in the second and third round. So don't be surprised if the Rams draft a wide receiver if people start to fall pretty far.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, it's just always in the back of your mind, like, are they going to get a wide receiver? Are they going to get a running back, with their first pick? It's just something that, Rams fans, you should not be shocked, I would say, if the Rams decided to go with an offensive weapon.
I'm calling it now, Zach. We'll be up Thursday night next week at like 11 o'clock at night. You'll hear that ding, 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 and it'll be Rams have traded up into the first round, pick 23, and they have selected the Texas running back. And the fan base will literally be burning for like a good 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think the running back position is something is a obviously they're going to choose a running back some point in this draft. That's a no-brainer. Yeah, they're going to. But right now you do have Cam Akers. He still has you're still looking at pretty much 2 years of his contract, 2 years left with Cam Akers. Definitely this season, but a good chance he'll be there back for the 2024 season as well. Then you have Ronnie Rivers is right behind him, and then you're going to pick up one or two more. And see
Ronnie Rivers is a practice squad guy. He's definitely going to get someone to fill that spot. Hopefully my boy in the 6th or 7th round, Chase Brown, is still there. I really like this dude, Zach. I think he's so underrated in this running back class, and the Rams should definitely wait for him. Do not draft a running back in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th rounds. Please. I beg you. But the Rams don't ever really listen to us. They do as they do, and they have been successful. So can't complain too much, but we're allowed to put our opinions out there. Any other comments on wide receiver in this draft, Zach?
Nope.
Okay. QBs, I guess it's remains to be said. We need a backup. Our backups' performance last year from both were not of quality at all. We were we weren't a playable team. It was lackluster. It was pathetic. It was just not to an NFL standard. Both of them have to go. I was fine giving Bryce Perkins a chance, and he got a few chances. I'm fine keeping him on the practice squad, but we need to draft someone. They've been meeting with a few QBs slated for the 5th and 6th round, Zach. Do you think that's the sweet spot for us to try to get a backup QB, or do you think we should go higher?
I think you're going to look in the 6th and 7th. I don't think you're going to go much higher than the 6th round. You could, depending on if there's certain players out there. Jaron Hall with BYU, he might be a good player in the 4th round. There's things like that.
Hooker?
But Hooker, yeah. I mean,
I would say if Hooker slides into the 3rd round, Zach, I mean, would you be angry if we got him with the Jalen Ramsey 3rd?
I don't know. I feel like once you get past, the top 8 of QBs and you get kind of past the 1st round, you're really taking a chance. And when I feel like you're better off trying to find that edge position, maybe another offensive line, a wide receiver, things like that. I don't know if you really want to take a chance on a mid-round pick on a QB that, is just going to be QB2 for, maybe his whole existence. So, I'm not in favor of that. I think if you're going to, it's either going to be in the front end or it's going to be in the back end. It's not going to be in the middle.
So if they think someone like Hooker could possibly be a starter in 2-3 years, do you think it's worth it then? If the front office believes that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Hooker is the only one that kind of fits that bill for me in this draft of like third to fourth round QB worth taking a chance on. He's a little bit older, that's why he's sliding. He's like 25. But really great mobility, decent arm, needs to work on the deep passes. But if the Rams can get him in the late third, even trade back some, accumulate picks, and pick him with one of those trade backs in the third, I definitely think it would be worth it for the Rams to see if this guy has anything. So they don't have to trade up next year or trade up in 2 years whenever Stafford retires or moves on. Uh, Also Dorian Thompson. I think some LA fans, UCLA fans, would kill us if we didn't mention him
That's
as
true.
a
Yep.
late round option. I personally kind of like Max Duggan from TCU, um, and also Stetson Bennett. I like both of those QBs. Stetson Bennett is pretty old, so that's why he's kind of in the later rounds. I think if he was 22, Zach, he would be a fourth round QB, a third round QB. He would be in a similar situation as
Okay.
Hooker. But
Yeah.
you ready to do this mock draft, Zach? Have some fun, see how we do with the simulation.
Lead the way.
Okay, and for everyone listening, we'll kind of describe what's going on, so you just not just listening in silence. But also, if you're listening and you want to watch this video, go on our YouTube channel, East Coast Rams, and watch the video and kind of watch our reactions, watch our just how we kind of react to our luck, so to say, and hopefully we can kind of. This is more of our draft, Zach. We're not going to do any unrealistic trades. We're not going to exactly pick as if we were the Rams. I think we're going to do more of a pure, just me and you kind of committee approach.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and start. Um, we'll go through a few picks and let's see who's there around pick 25. So, guys, I don't anticipate the Rams trading higher than pick 25. Zach, do you think that's a fair assessment in this type of situation?
Oh yeah. I mean, realistically, the Rams really don't have a whole lot to trade to get up that high. Um, so yeah, I'm in full agreement with you.
And this is a little nuts. Anthony Richardson in this mock draft goes to the Giants at pick 25. That's a little shocking. But I mean, man, Richardson falling a little bit. But let's see our options if we were to trade up. Will McDonald is still there. Darnell Washington, Emmanuel Forbes, really solid cornerback out of Mississippi State. A lot of running backs. Kaylee Ringo is still there. Sam Smith, Jalen Hyatt, my guy, and Hendon Hooker, FAU. Zach, do you think anyone here is a must trade up for? Brian Branch, really great safety. I like him. It's a little surprising to see him here in pick 25. Brian Breezy would be a really awesome D lineman to get, but I don't know if the Rams would target a D lineman
Yeah, I
this
don't think
draft.
that. Yeah, I don't think the Rams are going to target, like I said, to target a defensive lineman, like you said. Safety, it's one of those positions. Again, the Rams, they they only value it for what it's worth, and so or for what they think it's worth. And I think that they would probably go in a later round to pick up a safety.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but kind of going through this list, I mean, I like Darrell Washington. I just don't think they're going to get a tight end again with their first pick in the NFL. Even though I think it's a need. It's with this being Higbee's probably last season, um, or this is his contract year. Hopkins is going to be out, and we don't know how Hunter Long is going to work out, so it's always a need. Um, but kind of looking through there, I mean, the only one, Will McDonald is still on that list. He's at 32 at the moment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so depending on how things go, with your next mock draft. What are you thinking?
I definitely don't think it's worth trading up right now. We got some good options here in like 7 picks, and we're 9 picks away, right? So I'm feeling kind of comfortable. Let's continue, since we're not going to trade up. Not a lot of good value. And Will McDonald goes to New Orleans, pick 29. So we miss out on the Will McDonald sweepstakes. Zach, he goes in the first round. We're at pick 30 now. Will Levis is still on the board, a little shocking. Still some really good cornerback prospects here, Zach. But
I mean, you look at it. That's that's kind of the next real need that the Rams are going to have to face. Is they have quite a few cornerbacks still in their roster, but really we're going to need someone who's going to fill that Jalen Ramsey spot. So, I could if Will McDonald's not there and they decide to kind of stick around in this, even if they trade back a little bit, I could really see them get at least one cornerback in the top 100 of their picks. At least one.
Let's see. Can I still? Yeah. So let's look. We're at our pick. We sat still, and man, Zach, I feel like this is such a rough place to be because we saw a lot of people we really like go. Kansas City takes Will Levis. That's an interesting pick there. Emmanuel Forbes is gone. Kaylee Ringo goes, and Jalen Hyatt right before it picks. And Jahmyr Gibbs is also gone. So Brian Branch has fell all the way to pick 36. That is a little shocking, Zach, because I feel like Brian Branch is a top 20 safety in the league right now, entering now. So we have a chance to get a starting safety right now. We also have some trade offers. So do you want to go with the trade offers first before
Yeah, let's take a look at what's our trade. What are we looking at?
Okay. So we're getting an offer from the Patriots for pick 46. So moving back 10 spots for a 4th rounder and a 6th rounder. I feel like that's realistic, but I don't know if I want to move back 10 spots with this list of players. There's some good players here. Oh, that's quite a ransom from Tennessee. Tennessee has thrown the bag at us. Definitely better offer than Patriots. A 2nd rounder, which is the 41st, then a 5th rounder, 147th, and then 4 2024 picks. They're trying to give us their entire 7th round next year.
This seems really odd to me. I mean, obviously this would be the trade to do. I don't know. I feel like that kind of feels like a no-brainer at that point, but this one doesn't seem better. I mean, I guess a little bit because you do get a 3rd and a 6th, but
yeah, you get
you do still get a 3rd, so that's a worse deal, but you get 1 pick ahead of them.
Yeah. So this is to jump back 2 picks, we get a 3rd and 3/5.
It's so weird. And a 6th.
Or 2/5 and 1/6.
Yeah.
I'm liking that, Zach. Do you feel like that's realistic though for the Raiders to offer?
I don't think so. No, yeah, I don't think so.
Not for 2.
I mean, if we kind of play it as what we could get right now, I mean, it's so hard not to think of, obviously you have, Brian Branch and you have Daryl Washington, Cam Smith. Like those 3 are good players that I think the Rams, those 3 positions are really what the Rams need.
So I will defend somewhat because I do think it's somewhat unrealistic. But if the Raiders are desperate and they really need safety help and they see Brian Branch falling and you're afraid the Rams may take him, do you feel like Seattle would take a safety in this situation ahead of Las Vegas? Because that's why they would offer this, is if they felt like either LA or Seattle would take Branch.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point.
I feel like Seattle does. Yeah, they really need a covered safety. Now that I think about it, they have like one all right guy, and then you have Mr. Box Safety. I'm kind of on the border with that one being fair. Moving back 4 spots for 4th and 2/7. And the 49ers offer 99 and 102.
That's a terrible deal compared to the other ones. I mean, it just seems like too many picks. I don't know. I mean, even the Titans one. I mean, that just seems like a lot of picks for the other team to give away. Just doesn't feel as realistic.
I feel like the most realistic is this Saints one.
Yeah. Still feels like a lot, but
yeah, but it's 2/7. I mean, let's see. Oh, that's a 2024 round 2. That's actually a pretty good deal.
But it's still the 49ers. Do you really want to help them out?
Okay, let's look at our options. Brian Branch is there, Darnell Washington, Cam Smith. I don't think they'll go linebacker, and FAU is still there. I feel like if you're gonna go FAU, you might as well trade back.
Yeah.
So really, we're looking at Darnell Washington, Cam Smith, or Brian Branch. With Brian Branch being a fall, we could address that need now. Or do you want to trade back and try to get FAU that edge?
Let's go ahead and trade back.
Okay. All right. So this gets us a 4th and a 6th for 10 spots, 5 spots, and a 5th, and a lot of 2024 picks. The more I look at this, I do actually think this is kind of realistic because you're only getting a 3rd rounder next year and a 5th rounder this year from moving back this year, right?
Right.
And moving 5 spots. That's moving back 14. And then this Raider one, it's hard to justify this Raider one being realistic. So I think we'll go, what? Saints is
4.
That's 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 7, 7, and that's 115.
And we just go back 4 spots.
Yeah, I think we'll do the Saints one. You okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, the Rams are trading back, guys. Trading back to.
And Brian Branch is still.
Wow.
They want their pick back.
I am not trading them this pick.
All right. So we got Felix and Brian Branch is still there.
I'm not getting anything I really like here.
Yeah, I think we should pick. I mean,
Okay. I mean, we got some picks back. We got a 4th rounder from that, which we needed. Mm-hmm. Oh, FAU's there. But Brian Branch falling in the middle of the 2nd round?
That's weird.
Dude, I'm trying to think.
But I think Felix is the choice that if we're going to make one, like I said, the edge is the spot that the Rams are going to choose. I don't think the Rams are going to choose a safety so far up, even if it's
you
Brian
think
Branch. I mean, that's my opinion.
No, I agree. I feel like they would be very tempted. That would be a 50-50 draft room if that happened on draft night. So we're going FAU. at pick 40. I think that's great value, Zach. We got a 4th rounder from moving back.
And you still got the player. I mean, theoretically, you probably still got the player you wanted.
Yeah. So we're in round 3, pick 69. We're getting offered to move back 7 for 5th in the 7th. That is totally not realistic. Look at that, moving back 1 spot for a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not realistic. Yeah, I don't see anything that I would really want here.
So let's see. We can get another edge.
Isaiah Foskey, really good motor on him. I feel like he's a solid run defender. Needs to work on his edge rushing technique a little bit, or like his power moves.
Get an offensive tackle. Bergeron. Which, the Rams may want to look more, continue to look at their offensive line depth.
Tucker Kraft, really good tight end out of South Dakota State. Definitely would be Sean McVay pounding the table for him. Jordan Battle.
Yeah, it looks like the cornerbacks have kind of, we're looking more down the list for cornerbacks.
Yeah, Darius Rush is probably going to be your best, but that's going to be a round from now. Zach, you feel like rounding out our edge issue and getting Isaiah Foskey?
Let's do it. 2 edges.
2 edges back to back. Again, guys, this isn't exactly what's realistic. This is what me and Zach would do if we were in the room and this was going on. So Tucker Kraft is still there. He has fallen.
Still some safety spots open.
Yeah, there's plenty of safeties. A.T. Perry, solid. Trey Hodges Tomlinson, I like him. So it looks like there's.
You got Tyler Scott still on there from Cincinnati as a wide receiver. He's somebody that the Rams have looked at.
Let's see.
They actually met him at his pro day, so there's at least some interest with you. I mean, the problem with him is he's a little shorter. He's 5'10", but he does run a 4.4.
So we got an inside lineman from North Dakota State and a tackle out of Syracuse. Do you think they would be more likely to go tackle or lineman or inside lineman? Because they need to fill a left guard position, right?
Yeah.
So either they're going to be starting AJ Akuri on the left tackle side or putting Noteboom there. Now they could slide Noteboom to left guard if AJ Akuri goes left tackle, which I think they will probably end up doing if they don't draft one. But do you think? I think they're more likely to draft guard, honestly.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would.
In case Logan Brest doesn't work out.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. And I mean, again, it's just another depth piece.
Yeah. So you ready to go Cody March?
Yep.
March.
Now here we need to start thinking about cornerbacks and offensive weapons. I think those are going to be the next ones that we should focus on.
So
Garrett Williams.
Yeah, we're at 115.
Okay.
And Right now it's at pick 107, and we have Garrett Williams. I don't know why I said greedy. Still on the board.
We don't know
Henry
if he's greedy.
Toto. Hopefully he's greedy for the ball. JL Skinner. Byron Young. Oh, man. Chris Smith out of Georgia is a solid safety. Zach Pickens of South Carolina. I like him. He played really well last year. I almost feel like, Zach, we could try to trade up with New England to get Garrett Williams.
Okay. What do we have to give him?
Okay, let's go. New England. Okay, they're 107, right? We'll give them 105.
Give him 2 7s.
Well, I don't think that's realistic. We'll give them a 7th. Oh, yeah, wiped it. We'll give them 2 7ths. Our 4th and 2 7ths. No, a 4th and 6.
Okay.
I think that's more realistic. Right?
Yep. 4 7 6.
Yeah. Okay, we are trading up. We have traded up, and they want to trade right back for it. And we are drafting Garrett Williams, getting our cornerback need addressed, Zach. I think we have to go offense next. Sean McVay's yelling at us from his rooftop, throwing stuff at our heads because we haven't got him any offensive players. We're kind of letting this go. So we got Luke Schoonmaker, a really good tight end out of Michigan. I like him a good amount. And we have another pick in 3 times. So you feeling like this tight end, Zach? Getting us some tight end help?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay. No, we're not trading back. So Dwayne McBride, are you feeling like a running back here in the 5th round?
I mean, we're gonna have to pick up a running back at some point.
Yeah. So we have addressed cornerback, edge. We got a lineman. So I think we're doing good,
end.
Zach. A tight end. I think we need a safety. We definitely need a running back and a backup quarterback.
We haven't even talked about a punter.
I mean, we got a lot of 7th round picks, Zach. A lot of 7th round picks to go around. I like Dwayne McBride. He has really good tape. Now, my problem with him is the competition he went against wasn't the best, but very explosive. Once he does get in the open, he's very quick, and he's decent at breaking tackles. So the question is he worth taking the 5th, or can we get a guy later? You said you wanted to also address safety, right? Because I don't see a lot of safeties here.
Safeties and then a running backs or wide receivers.
Oh yeah, we do need to look at some later round. Ronnie Hickman. So you feel like we should trade back here if we're not going to pick a running back?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I don't know what our other options are, but
yeah, we have one trade offer and it's 2-6.
I mean, doesn't really.
That doesn't appeal me. appealed to me
Mhm.
much. Defensive lineman. Mickey Garner is a solid cornerback. I was kind of reaching. We could go Jaron Hall. I think Jaron Hall in the 5th round, that's not a huge leap. I know some people would want us to take running back here right now, but I really do think we can get that later in the draft. Jaron Hall, he would be a project, most likely long-term backup QB, but he could be something, and you get him in the 5th round.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Okay. So Dwayne McBride is gone. Deuce Vaughn is still there. Yeah, I don't see any wide receivers right now like jumping off to me. Trey Tucker, but I think he'll be there in the next round. They met with Trey Tucker too. Ronnie Bell, I really like Ronnie Bell's ability to run routes. And then Trey Dean. Ooh, I like Trey Dean. Jared Clark is a very underrated defensive lineman. Yeah, Zach, I'm feeling Deuce Vaughn here in the 5th round.
Okay, I trust you in this one.
Okay, we're in round 6. We really need a wide receiver. Is kind of where I'm thinking about going. Bryce Ford Wheaton. I'm not exactly familiar with him from West Virginia, but he's the highest rated wide receiver left. Let's see. Any other wide receivers? Trey Tucker, but he's a 7th rounder. And Ronnie Bell's a 7th rounder. Yeah. You want to go wide receiver here? Bryce Ford
Yeah.
Whedon? This one, guys, I'm just being honest. I don't know much about him exactly. At this point, the Rams will be throwing darts. We're starting to throw darts. I do have some 7th round people / undrafted free agents that I do like. That Cameron Latu, I think he's a good tight end. We won't take him because we already got a tight end, but he's a solid tight end in the 6th round. Could get our kicker.
We do need a kicker. Yes, I assume Parker Washington has already been picked up. I guess we missed out on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we'll take a shot on Bryce and see how it goes. Okay. So, let's see. The 6th round, so we already have a running back. We have a wide receiver. I think we want to go for safety here. Ronnie Hickman. Oh, Ohio State safety, Zach. I know he had decent coverage skills. Not the quickest safety or not the quickest 40 time. You think that? I feel like that's kind of like a Rams pick, a guy who's really good in coverage, but not the fastest.
Yeah, I mean, and Ohio State's a great school, and I mean they bring on pretty good talent when they go recruiting. So I would say that could be a good pick.
Yeah, we'll get him at safety. And then got a Pitt tackle. D. Winters. Wow. D. Winters. I like him. Trey Tucker. Now we're getting into that spot for wide receiver. Ronnie Bell, Trey Tucker. I really think the Rams would take a wide receiver here. They want to definitely to have a battle in camp for that last roster spot, right? I don't think they're just going to hand that last wide receiver roster spot out. They're going to want someone who can also play on top of being on top in special teams. And I think they've focused on Trey Tucker for that reason. Are you feeling Trey Tucker here, Zach?
Yeah, no, I like Trey Tucker, and I like what Cincinnati's done with their team over the last several years. I mean, you know, coming from Cincinnati, that was a team that never was really recognized, in college football, and over the last several years, they've really made that organization something special. So, yeah, I think that's good. That could be a good pick.
Alex Austin of Oregon State has fallen. He was their ranked 184th cornerback. He could be an option. Makai Blackman, solid USC cornerback here in the 7th round. I think we have one, two. We have 2 picks left, Zach.
Okay.
So with those 2 picks, you think we should go kicker?
Yeah, what we at with as far as kickers go? Kickers or punters?
Kickers. Chad Ryland, Jack Ponsley, BT Potter, who they met with. I really don't like BT Potter. He has a terrible kick percentage. Christopher Dunn, um, Chad Ryland of Maryland, I think is a solid kicker. Let me look up his stats. Chad Ryland stats. Just looking that up for us. He has a field goal percentage of 82.6%, extra point percentage of 97%, along at 53. Um, and he's
What's
the
the
best.
what's the punter situation look like?
Adam Korsak.
All right, but Bryce Bargner's still there, and if you read on the Athletic actually had a piece when they were doing their mock, and they actually had him coming out at 191, and he's pretty much considered the number one punter in this draft. So,
Well, let's get our guy. We got our guy, and
got him.
I think can always go long snapper.
They actually did pick a long snapper as their last one as well.
Did they? Man, I don't.
I mean, none of those guys really just stand out.
No, I think they're all around like the 70% field goal range, and I don't think that's going to be worth it. So we're going to be doing another 2020 kicker roulette. Alex Austin is still here, and Makai Blackman, sorry. D. Winters. I really like D. Winters. And Ronnie Bell. Oh, Jerry Clark. I love this guy from Coastal Carolina. I watched a few of their games, and he's always jumping out from a smaller school, making big plays. Really good run defender. I would like to go D-line here to kind of replace losing some of our D linemen this year.
All right, go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So, man, look at that, Zach. For our first time, we didn't do too bad. Got a lot of
Of course,
A's on there.
my pick of the punter, got a C. Great. This is why I don't do mock drafts.
No. So, guys, at pick 40, we got FAU, gave us an A grade for that. Pick 69, we got Isaiah Foskey, a B plus at pick 69. At pick 77, we got Cody Mock and got an A plus for that. At 107, we traded up and got Garrett Williams, A plus. At 167, we got Luke Schoonmaker. They gave us an A for that. At 171, got Jared Hall, A. Deuce Vaughn at 177, A for that. Bryce Ford Whedon at 182, A. 191, we got Ronnie Hickman, the safety out of Ohio State. Trey Tucker at 223, a B plus. Our only C being the punter, Bryce Behringer of Michigan State, and Jared Clark getting an A plus for that in the 7th round. Zach, not too shabby for our first time, I may say. I feel like we addressed a lot of the needs. We didn't get a quality wide receiver, but I felt like we got some guys who could compete for that last spot and the second spot.
I still have faith in our wide receiver team that we have right now. I mean, like I said, we still have Cooper Kupp, we still have Van Jefferson, solid, obviously solid 1 and 2. Then we have Ben Skoranek. You have Tutu Atwell, which he did have some very explosive plays. We had a lot on there, so definitely make sure you save this draft so we can post it later on our socials.
Yeah.
So tell us what you guys think. I mean, what did you think of our picks? If there's anything that you disagree with, you can certainly do that on Twitter. That's where most people like to disagree with. You can find us at East Coast Rams, or you can ping one of us directly.
Yell at us.
Please do. But this is very exciting. I mean, this is our 3rd season, but this is really the first time that we've done a mock draft. So definitely excited that we got to put this together. And now we just got to wait a whole week to see what the Rams actually do.
Yeah, and don't forget, we will go nuts. Not really, but we'll kind of brag if they pick a few of the guys on this list. Zach, we'll be like, oh, fortune tellers.
Yeah. We'll go big.
We'll go big because of our fantastic draft knowledge and stuff like that. Do appreciate everyone for listening. Please like and subscribe. Like Zach was saying, we're not the biggest draft guys. We have tried to put a little bit more time and effort into this to give you guys better quality content. We'll react to the draft and try to do research on the guys they do end up drafting, and I think we'll be a little bit more substantive when it comes to that. But I'm looking for a draft, Zach. It should be fun.
Yeah, it's my birthday weekend. Draft always falls on my birthday weekend. So it's always exciting to kind of see what the Rams do as I go out and celebrate traveling around the sun for another year. So fun times. So we're going to wrap things up a little bit, but there is one topic I do want to talk about before we leave. And that is that the NFL ticket is coming to YouTube TV. They finally gave us a price. It is not going to be cheap. If you thought it was going to be cheap, you were out of your mind. It was kind of expensive when it was on DirecTV, and I never thought it was going to be anything less than what they were definitely providing. So YouTube TV, you can get, if you already have YouTube TV, you can get Sunday Ticket right now for the low price of $249 before June 6th. After June 6th, you will have to pay $350. If you do want the NFL Red Zone, that is an extra $30 more. But if you don't want to get YouTube TV, you can still get the NFL ticket by paying a cheap price of $340 before June 6th, or you have to pay $450 after June 6th. So definitely not cheap, but it is cheaper than a decent seat, one decent seat at one game of a Rams game. But you get to watch all 17 games.
Yes, especially considering both me and you do not live anywhere near California. It is not cheap to go to those games, especially in SoFi. For us, for our local teams, which we are very blessed to be able to go next year because they're relatively close and they have been closer to me lately. Either way, it still costs like $700 for a whole trip between the tickets, the parking, the food. I've only been to 4 games because of that. So yeah, I'm happy it's switched. I felt like DirecTV did a bad job of supporting it. Um I would like it to be cheaper. I would like it to have a team centric option. So like if I want to just pay for Rams games, I should be able to. For a cheaper plan, I feel like that would help out a lot of people who can't afford the 250 or 350. But hopefully it's better supported and better maintained, better interface, and it will have 2 streams. So if you and a buddy want to share it, you can do that.
We're not giving legal advice on what you should do with those, but yes, you could technically share your account
Within the same household.
Yeah, within the same household. So for me, I mean, DirecTV was always a non-option. A, I didn't want to get a satellite put on the top of my roof. And B, they wouldn't let you buy the NFL ticket unless you either put a satellite on your roof or you lived in an area where you could not put a satellite on your roof. And unfortunately, I guess my address checker always said that I could put a satellite. So I never had the option to do DirecTV. And do the NFL ticket. So I'm really excited that I can, just pay money. And what I keep telling people is, yeah, you say if you want, you're like, oh, if I have to get YouTube TV, well, then I'll save $100. If you don't watch live TV, don't waste your money just to get the $100 discount, because you're looking at spending about $70 a month just on Google TV. And then on top of that, you have to pay for that $350+ package. So definitely the cheaper way, if you don't watch live TV, is just to buy it outright. That's what I'm probably going to do. But again, definitely check out what options that you do have. But definitely get it before June 6th, or you'll pay an additional $100.
Yep.
So other than that, that's kind of about it. There's still really no real Ram news. Rams started OTA, so that's exciting. So it's good to see everyone back at the facility training up. So,
and if you think about it, we got a punter for trading away Allen Robinson. So in our mock draft, Zach,
how about that? Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of the East Coast Rams podcast. It's so awesome that we get to do this regularly, and we get to do this on YouTube on a video channel as well. So please check us out, youtube.com/@EastCoastRams. Please subscribe. Please smash that bell so that you can always be notified when we are going to go, or when we post new videos. We're going to try to do this more. We're trying to be on other networks as well to kind of keep boosting this content and boosting it. So please give us your feedback. Leave comments below. You can also email us feedback at East Coast Rams. And find us on Twitter at East Coast Rams. Ashton, anything else you want to say? Anything new going on?
Nothing. Thank you guys for listening. As always, we love all of our subscribers and we love all of our listeners. You guys are fantastic. You can find me on Twitter at RamFanAshton1, and you can find Zach here at Zach Mayer. Give this guy a follow. He puts out great content, and all those lovely children pictures, just fantastic. I like the jerseys. That's a great touch. You're indoctrinating them early. Got to get it done early.
I'm trying my hardest, and they love it, and it's really fun to get to see them grow and get to see them love the team that I love. So it's so much fun. Definitely can't wait for you to meet them when you get to come out here. It's going to be super awesome. Can't wait to know when that date will be. We'll find that out here in the next couple of weeks as well.
Yes.
So definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll get to see all of you guys at a next event when we're able to host one, either at the Indianapolis Colts game, or if I go to the Bengals game, to see those as well. So we cannot wait to see how this season progresses. It's going to be fun, not only for us, but hopefully for you as well. Keep your eyes open. We are now kind of helping out on the Downtown Rams YouTube channel as well, kind of providing our own independent content. But we're still doing this. This is still our home and still something that we're going to continue doing. So thank you again for everyone who supports us. And until next time, let's go, Ramley.